All right. Hey, everyone. It is, what is it, May, Cinco de Mayo today. No, we're not at the bar. We're here on our first basics call. So I'm really excited to be here. Me and Haley are the two leaders. Kelly also is one of the leaders in the group this month, but she has twin girls, and right now 8:30 is kind of like the crazy going to bedtime. So me and Haley are on, and for the first call that we do for this training, I usually just kind of introduce myself because some of you do know me, some of you are my personally sponsored coaches, others are not. And then Haley will introduce herself too. And then we'll kind of just see if you guys have any questions for the first week of Coach Basics, and just kind of give you more of like, I guess not the guidelines, but a little pump me up, right? Because you probably are, it's our third day in Coach Basics or our fourth day. And you're probably like, wow, I am really overwhelmed. There's a lot of information. So that's what I mean by like, we got to pump you up. So if you guys don't know me, my name is Rose Smith. I've actually been a Beachbody coach for over 3 years. It was 3 years in February. Before I did this full-time, I was actually a licensed athletic trainer. I'm still licensed, but I used to work at a high school. So if you're from New Jersey, I first worked by Newark, and then I moved a little bit closer to Cherry Hill at the time. So I worked at a high school there. But 3 years ago when I was, working at my full-time career, like that's what I thought. Like I thought like I'd have to be an athletic trainer, like kind of in that teacher realm. And have that long career until I'm like 65 and hope there's like a pension plan at the end of it. And in my 5th year of being an athletic trainer, I was like, I can't make it another 40 years. I was kind of just going through the motions of everything because I've always, just grown up of, go to school, get a degree, find your career, and just do that forever. And for me, it kind of was like I was settling. So I was really not happy with what I was doing. I felt like it was unfulfilled, and I was just doing it because that's what everyone thought I should be doing. And I always had in the back of my mind, like, I should be, like, there was something else out there. And I knew there was something else out there for me. And I remember, like, my aunt has a psychic friend, and I would ask her, like, do you see me doing anything else? And she would say, yes. I was like, okay, the psychic said it. Something's going to happen. So besides the psychic telling me, I just knew I was meant for something else. But I didn't know what it was. So, of course, at the same time, I was unhappy with what I was doing. I was in a long-distance relationship for 3 years. So if you're from New Jersey, my husband, who is then my boyfriend, lived all the way in Cape May, and I was in pretty much North Jersey commuting for my work. So we were doing that on the weekends. And I was just eating like crap because I felt bad about myself. I felt bad that I couldn't do anything to change the situation I was in. And being an athletic trainer, it was kind of like, I was like preaching to my kids, to my athletes, like eat right, work out, like, treat your body well. And here I was like totally treating it like crap. So I knew I had one of those aha moments where I was just like completely embarrassed at a Super Bowl party in front of all my friends. I just wanted to run and hide. And that was my moment. Like I knew, all right, I needed to get a hold of the disaster that was going on with me. So my brother told me about this workout program called Insanity. And I thought it was absolutely insane because I've seen it on the infomercials. I saw it on TV, but I couldn't work out. I couldn't go to a gym and do it. I was working 6 days a week as an athletic trainer. So nights for football games, holidays for wrestling tournaments. I just couldn't add anything onto my schedule. So I was like, I can wake up, I can do a workout, shower, walk the dog, that stuff, and then go to work. So that's what I did. I actually got Insanity off of Amazon, which is like a big Beachbody no-no because you don't get a coach, you don't get any help. I was just kind of like doing the program on my own. But that's what I did. And in the 2 months, it's a 2-month program, I lost 30 pounds. And for me, an athletic trainer I played soccer my whole entire life. I was around collegiate athletes my, whole career. I'm like, wow, did I really get in the best shape of my life in my condo living room? I'm like, why why was I like taught this whole other way of, being in the gym and on the treadmill, the dreadmill, that's what I called it. I hated that thing. And just spending so much time where I could do this at home. And I felt like I got so much more like done. Like I felt like I really accomplished something because it, physically, obviously it changed me with losing 30 pounds, but mentally it changed me also because I had that accomplishment of like, wow, like I did something called insanity and I killed it. So I realized, all right, do other people know about this like insanity thing? So I finally went online to teambeachbody.com and I signed up with the free account. So anyone that gets a free account on Beachbody, you get assigned a free coach. And I was like, let me see what this coach has to say. Like they can't know any better than me because I'm an athletic trainer, like kind of thinking I'm a little big-headed. But I got on the phone with my coach and Beachbody randomly assigns you people. So she was from Massachusetts. I'm still from New Jersey. And she just told me about her story, how she was a single mom, broke as a joke. She had to move back in with her parents at the age of 40. And my upline, her name is Lisa Hanson. If you guys see her on Facebook, that's who our team kind of belongs to, is Lisa's team. So Lisa is our upline. But she's been doing this, I think, 5 or 6 years right now, but at the time she was only in it for 3 years when I talked to her on the phone. And she told me like I got really great results. She told me another workout program that I could do. She told me about Shakeology, and I was looking for something because obviously I saw it on the little commercials that they did when I played my workout every day about Shakeology, but I need to do my homework. I wanted to make sure I wasn't putting crap in my body. So before I was like gung-ho about Shakeology, I totally did my research. I Googled the crap out of it. And that's what I tell everyone to do. If you are still clueless about Shakeology, I mean, obviously there's a lot of tools in your Coach Online office and videos that you guys can look at. But just Google the first like 5, 10 ingredients of Shakeology and you'll see that you're not getting a bag full of sugar. Because that's what I found when I was comparing it to other meal replacement shakes. The other stuff just had sugar. I'm like, they're totally like scheming us. They're just making us buy sugar. So anyways, she told me about that and she told me, hey, have you ever thought about being a coach? You should really be a coach. And I'm like, hey lady, I don't know you. You're trying to get me into some sort of pyramid scheme. But the more I thought about it, I said, P90X and Insanity, they're pretty big names. If this was a scheme, it would have been shut down by now. They wouldn't be able to have done the infomercials on TV for, I think at that point it was like 7, 8 years. Like someone would have found out, it would have got shut down. So I knew the name was reputable. And I thought in the back of my mind, this could be that thing that gets me out of the rut I'm in. This could get me to where I want to be with my relationship. This could get me out of athletic training and just kind of like being on that hamster wheel going in circles. So I said, you know what, let me just do it, because the worst thing that could happen is I get into a really great, amazing shape, even if I don't help anyone. If it was only for myself, then that's the worst case scenario. So I was like, you know what, let me sign up for this coaching thing. And I kind of went all in. Like I said, at the time I was living by myself because my husband was in Cape May, and we weren't married yet. So I pretty much did this business, meaning like I worked like my working hours at night. I would come home from work probably around 7, 8, walk the dog, and then I would get on whatever call I could. I would listen to whatever videos I could on YouTube. I just did what I had to do because I know if I put in the work now, I'd be able to do what I am doing now 3 years later. So in October, I was able to quit my full-time job as an athletic trainer. I make more than double now. I was making a teacher salary. So I more than doubled it before, and that was my goal. Like I had to double my salary in order for me to say, okay, I quit. And it still like boggles my mind. I'm like, I can't believe I really did that with, helping people work out and helping people build a business. Like it still blows my mind. And in the same month, we were able to build a brand new home in Cape May courthouse. So my world has completely changed because of this business, because I gave it that opportunity. And I saw the potential that it could really give me my dream life that I've always wanted. And I know you guys listening now, you're like, yeah, like that's great for you, Rose. Like, yay, congratulations. But, and then you start filling your mind like, but that can't be me. But I have this, this, and this. But you kind of already have that thought in your mind of like the excuses and the fear kind of setting in. And whether you want to do this business to leave your full-time job or not, I mean, that is totally up to you, what your goals are. I'm just here to say whatever you do want to reach, and maybe you don't even know what you want to reach yet. Maybe you're like, I don't even know where this could take me. But definitely start thinking about it. Definitely start kind of like, you know, when you've like had those daydreams, like you're on a beach and you're just like relaxing and your mind just kind of wanders. Like that's the stuff that can legit happen with this company. Before, you know, I became a coach, me and my husband, we only went on one vacation, and it was driving down to Florida during spring break when we were college kids. And then our honeymoon, and that was it. And now we're like going away at least like 3-4 times a year. And we couldn't do that before just because I couldn't take off of work. I worked weekends, I worked holidays, I worked in the summer for football preseason camp. So it was just kind of, you know, wasn't in the cards for us. But that's a little bit of my story. So I kind of wanted to shoot it over to Haley because we're all kind of in different points in our business, right? I've been in this for 3 years. Haley, you've been in it for what? 1 year. So while, yeah, I've been able to leave my job, Haley hasn't. But that doesn't mean that Haley's not successful, because she is a really successful coach. She just has only been doing this for a year, and you guys are just starting out. So you have to kind of see that, you know, and I tell coaches all the time, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not that you're going to, you know, even get through Coach Basics and be like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. You're still not going to have a clue for a while. But this is definitely going to give you that foundation. So I'm going to shoot it over to Haley so she can kind of tell you her story and introduce her.
Thanks, Rose. All right. Hey, guys. I'm Haley. I actually live nowhere near Rose. I live in Tallahassee, Florida. I don't think we have anyone from our team in Florida besides me and some of my coaches. But I became involved with this because I had some girls from my college volleyball team join Beachbody and become coaches, and they were just posting literally like all the time on Facebook, and they were always so happy. They were always like working out. They looked in great shape. You know, like if you're an athlete in college, you work out. So we obviously worked out in college, but then like after college, you're just like, oh, finally, like I don't have to do anything. But then that's when things start packing on, you know, as you guys know. And I was like, God, how do I look like that again? And so at first, I'll be honest, like I was kind of annoyed. They were always posting, like they were so happy. And I was just like, God, can you stop being so happy? Like, why are you always so positive? Like, my life sucks. But then I was like, okay. So my coach reached out to me probably 2 or 3 times before I actually like said yes. And like I never really thought about it until I was thinking about like what I was going to say tonight, because I'm a teacher, and so she would, you know, reach out to me and just say, you know, how's your school year going? How's life after college? And we would just talk, and then she'd be like, she'd invite me to a challenge group or something like that, and I'd be like, well, you know, I coach volleyball right now, so I'm really busy, or I was a first year teacher, so I didn't have time. And she was like, okay, well, no problem. And then she'd check back like a few months later, and I was just kind of like, well, I'm still kind of busy. I always made the excuse, like always found the excuse. It's there. And so then finally, like at the beginning of last year, I was just like, all right, you know, I've had enough. What's this all about? So when people say like you reach out to people and they're going to say no, they'll come back. I promise you. Like I was one of them, and I've had plenty of people come back to me that have said no. And so she told me about it. And like Rose, I started with Insanity Max 30. And I think I was crazy for doing that because I'd never done Insanity or P90X. And so to do Insanity Max 30, I was crazy, but it was awesome. Love Shaun T. He's like literally my lifesaver trainer. Love him. But then I did 21 Day Fix. I'm doing Hammer and Chisel right now. So Yeah, I've been doing this a little over a year. I started January last year. And so I'm a diamond coach right now. And it's just unbelievable how much within a year you'll learn. When I first started, I was kind of like you guys. I was just like, okay, this is a lot of information. Like, I'm trying to work teaching. Like, I just got married. I don't know about all this. And so, you just do a little bit at a time. And then you really start to enjoy it. Like, I have told Rose before, like, I can see myself quitting teaching and doing this full time. Like, at first, when, Rose and my coach were like, so what's your, what do you want to do with this business? What's your aspirations? What's your dreams? And I'm just like, get in shape, help people. Like, I don't know. I didn't really have something, you're just kind of, you don't know what's out there yet. So I just wanted to help people. And so that's what I did. And now I'm kind of like, okay, like, if I've been a teacher for 3 years already now, maybe in a few years I could be like Rose. And it's all about consistency. I will tell you guys that. Like, I would not be where I was now if I wasn't consistent this past year. And it's hard. Like, I mean, because I coached volleyball during that season, it's hard to be consistent. It was hard to be consistent. And there's multiple times I was just like, is this even worth it? Like, am I wasting my money doing this? I would talk to my husband, what should I do? I love my Shakeology. I love my workouts, but, I have nobody. I'm not helping anybody. What's going on? And like Rose has always said, be here a year from now. And that's what I did is, I started in January, and this past January was my year anniversary, and I became diamond in March of this year. And so, I mean, it took me a little bit to rank advance, but once you do, and once you start building your team, you'll see the possibilities, and it's just endless. I promise you guys, it might be really confusing and tough at first, but if you can just stick it out, at least for a year, see how it goes, see where you're at, you will be amazed and shocked. I mean, like, I'm looking right now, I have like a board in my office. I have an office. Like, last year when I started, I had my laptop at my kitchen and I was doing this in my kitchen. Then I would do it at my couch, and now I have a spare bedroom, and I was like, well, let's turn it into an office. And so now I have this board of like all this stuff I want to accomplish, of, going places, helping people, paying off student loans. Like, none of this was here last year. No, like, I was at my kitchen table just trying to listen to my personal development, listen to like these team calls, do what I was supposed to do in my power hour, and then call it a day. And now it's like, you treat it as a business, and it's going to give it back to you as a business. But that's what you have to do. You can't do this at a kitchen table. You can't do this in your bedroom, like out of bed or on the couch. Like, find your place and treat it as a business, because it will become business-like, I promise. But yeah, so I'm going to stop rambling and let Rose keep going. I'm excited to have you guys.
I was going to say too, I started my business at my kitchen table with a laptop that didn't work and with stealing my neighbor's internet, because that's how, like, on a budget I was, that I had to take my neighbor's internet. I didn't have cable. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have cable right now if it wasn't for my husband. I can kind of do without TV because I like to do this stuff at night. But anyways, as I digress, I kind of wanted to backpedal a little bit to what Haley said on how it took her saying no 3 times, or her coach asking her 3 times for her to finally say yes. Because especially as a new coach, this is brand new for people to see. So you're going to have to prove to people that you're in this for the long run. So if you invite some people to your challenge group and they say no, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean that you quit. It just means that you need to be in this a little bit longer. You need to kind of, I like to call, put skin in the game. People have to see that you're going to show up every single day, and then they're going to start to trust you and be like, okay, like Haley said, you see them posting on Facebook and like the positivity. Like I never had like a group of girls I had a group of girls that would just be negative. I had a group of girls that we would almost be like, no, my life sucks even more. No, my life sucks even more. And it's like, man, that is like the worst kind of, energy that you put out to the universe, because what you put out is what you attract. No one wants to attract that negativeness. So yeah, people are then going to start to see how positive you are, that you're changing, that you're doing personal development, you're trying to grow, you're trying to better yourself. So while they might say no for a couple times, and believe me, I have coaches that after 3 years have finally said yes, and I still have people that say no to me. So just because, I'm successful in this business doesn't mean I still don't have people saying no. The really cool thing about network marketing, and I hope you guys have gotten GoPro, the personal development book, either you started reading or listening to it, because I had no idea what network marketing was. The only thing I kind of knew about it was when my grandma had her friend come over with the Avon catalog, and we would pick out like lipsticks and stuff. Like, that's my only memory of like what network marketing was. So GoPro is really going to teach you, like, network marketing is actually huge. Like, I never realized like how big of kind of like a business that this is. So in network marketing, you can fail over and over and over. So it's not like going to school where you need to get an A+. You can make so many mistakes in this business, and I've made plenty of mistakes, but I kept on being consistent. I kept on asking people. I kept on showing up. I kept on going to team calls. I kept on going to any event that I can get my hands on, I go to. So I've been at every summit since I've been a coach. I've been at every Super Saturday. And I've even, in October, there was a Super Saturday, and that was the day I was moving. I said, bye, Dave. Good luck. I went to the Super Saturday because if it wasn't for Beachbody, we wouldn't be moving in the first place. So I always make sure that no matter what I do, I show up no matter what the excuses are, because you're going to move. You're going to get married. You're going to have kids. You're going to have a job. Your parents are going to get sick. Your dog's going to tear his ACL. Like, crazy things are going to happen in your life, and they happen to everyone. It's just that, are you going to be tough enough to push through it, to stand up while most people would be like, okay, like, I give up. I'm going to go watch TV. And that's the difference with people that succeed in this business and with the people that don't. It has nothing to do with network marketing experience. It has nothing to do with being business savvy. It has nothing to do with being outgoing, because I am the most shy person. Right now you might not think I am, but I would like just be like, if you don't see me, that's good. Like, if I'm in the corner, like, don't bother me. Like, I'm happy with like being by myself. But I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of go up on tangents. Just show up, just putting the action in this. Oh, that's what I was saying was, it's not a certain person that is successful in this business with some sort of magical quality. Anyone can do this business if you just do it long enough and if you stay consistent. So by being consistent, like I said, showing up on the team calls, showing up in Coach Basics every single day, whether you're wrong, whether you're right, there is no wrong or right way. There's like how I built this business, and that's kind of what we show you guys is how I've done it. But there's plenty of other leaders on our team that have done it different ways. We have Alicia on our team, and she has a like page and a blog, and she actually had that before she became a coach, but now her like page is growing even more. Some people use Instagram. I don't. Some people use Pinterest. I don't. I use Facebook. Some people use home parties. So I don't like using home parties because that sounds like frou-frou. But like we call it shake and share. So you have people come over and work out, drink your Shakeology, talk about, don't talk about the products in terms of, hey, buy this. Talk about how it makes you feel, how it's changed your life, how it's changed other people's lives. So you might be saying too, like, well, I don't have a big transformation. Like, I just started, like, I'm on day 2. So what do I share? Share other people's transformations right now. Share your excitement. That is if you have excitement in this business, that is what's going to attract other people to you. Just write that down. Excitement. Be excited about where you're going, because maybe you're not where you want to be right now. And honestly, I think we all need to be growing no matter what level we're at, whether it's Beachbody or your life or, friendships, family. Like, you always want to be bettering yourself. You always want to be growing. So I know I go off on long tangents, and I wanted to talk about excuses too. I think I did a little bit, but you're going to have so many things that come up, whether it's family, husbands, babies. You have to kind of almost, and I made a post about this yesterday, and I still have the picture framed because my husband has to put it on the wall, but it says, "We walk by faith, not by sight." And I'm not a religious person at all, but I just absolutely love that. And for me, it signifies that you're doing this, you don't know what's going to happen, but you have that belief that this is going to take you somewhere, that you're not really sure where it's going to take you, but you're going to try your freaking hardest and put 100%. Because if you put 100%, you're not going to fail at this. And the only way I say that you truly fail, no matter how many mistakes or bumps that you hit along the road, is if you quit. If you say, "I'm done, I quit." That's the only way that you're going to fail at this business. It doesn't matter how many, conversations you have and people say no, and how many posts that maybe didn't get so many likes on Facebook. As long as you are here a year from today, you're going to be successful. And I don't guarantee a lot of things, but I can guarantee that if you're here a year from today, that you're going to be successful. And I've done a lot of these Coach Basics calls, probably since I was a year in, just kind of like Haley. That's when I started doing training. So don't be worried that like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to speak like this like next month? No, it takes time. My first Coach Basics that I did a video for and did the training, I think I was like sweating profusely. I probably lost 10 pounds just from sweat. But I've done a lot of these, and I can tell when someone's going to be successful and when someone's not. And the way I can tell is action. Yes, if you're watching the videos, that's great. That's information. But unless you put the action step into that, you're not going to learn it. And I always go back to like when I was an athletic trainer in college. There was like a year where we only could watch and we couldn't physically like do taping or do rehab or do massage or whatever. Like, we just had to watch. And I'm like, what a waste that was, because after I graduated, I had no clue what I was doing because I had no hands-on experience. So you really need that hands-on, meaning you need to do the doing. You need to be posting. You need to be writing your list of people, that your contact list. You need to do the action steps in order, because what happens is you'll learn information and you don't do the action steps, and all that information is going to stay up in your head and it's going to start to overwhelm you. And then you're almost going to stop before you start. So get the wheels turning, get moving, because the faster that you do action, you make a mistake and you learn from it. That's the only way that this business is going to work, is by you kind of doing the action, because we're going to give you everything, but it's up to you guys to make it happen. So it's kind of like you can show a horse to water, but if they don't drink from it, like, you can't force them to drink from it, right? So do the action. If you have a question, you can definitely reach out to us, but look at Google first. Look in our team page first. Go in the FAQ section in the Coach Online office. It's at the bottom of the screen. It says FAQ. Click on it. You can do a search. But Google, you can find everything. So do that so you learn. So, because if you ask me something and I just tell you, you're not going to remember it for next time. But if you have to work to find it, then it's going to kind of stick with you. All right. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to open up the call for you guys, whether it's a question about what we went over in Coach Basics so far or just anything in general that you have a question about. There's that little microphone, and you just click on it, and don't be shy, because this is how we learn, and everyone else is new, so. Anyone with any questions? Or even a conversation, they're not sure how to follow up or what to say next. No, everyone's gonna be a little shy. Well, I would say that you definitely want to be, message. Sending your coaches messages about your conversations. And I think, Jen, you did that too. You asked, like, you sent a piece of your conversation to me saying about that one girl. But
yes,
do that constantly, because that's the way that you're going to learn. I mean, my first conversations I had with people, I look back on them now and I'm like, those were so awful. No wonder why that person told me no.
Right. Well, it was very awkward. And I will say she actually didn't end up, at least right now, going through with the sale. I had brought it up to her. I gave her, the site. That's where we kind of left off. And then I left it alone because I didn't want to start hounding her. Like, did you look through it? Did you buy it? Blah, blah, blah. So I gave it a few days. And then I had waited until she had started the boot camp. And I was like, hey, how'd that go? How do you feel? Are you sore? Just being conversational. And then I casually tried to bring it up again. And then she just never responded. So I figured for now, best bet was just to leave it alone. Because I don't, want to be annoying about it and, vomit the whole Shakeology thing. So that's kind of where we are now. But it was kind of, it was disappointing because when she said yes, I was like, yay. And then it just kind of stayed. And I was like, so I'm trying to be emotionally detached about the whole thing and not, be upset about it. Because it's going to happen,
It's going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry. But you made a very good point. That you don't want to be emotionally attached to whatever she says. If you just make it about them, I would even just say, being disappointed for her because she's missing out on something.
Right.
So not disappointed that you didn't make a sale or anything, but yeah, you have to kind of detach that emotion and that you're just trying to help her. So my tips for you would be, and everyone has this, and I know I did, was when do I follow up with them? I don't want to be a pain.
Yeah.
In that book, Go Pro, he really kind of lists, and I hate saying the steps to having a conversation, but you do it in a certain order. That way you kind of ask them, when can I follow up with you by? And
right.
Then you send them a video, or we call it a third-party tool, something else besides you explaining it so you don't beach body vomit all over the place. So that will help with all right, when do I follow up? You know when you're going to follow up because she told you, oh, I'm going to watch the video. I can watch it by tomorrow afternoon. So you're going to say, oh, okay, let me follow up with you tomorrow night. Do you mind if I give you a call so I can answer your questions and see if this is the right fit for you?
Right. I actually just finished the book today.
Oh, awesome.
It was very good.
It is very good. I listened to that on my commute, and I think I've listened to that 10 times. So I think definitely reading it again, because the first time you're kind of you get some of it, but then the second time it you get more.
I tried to take notes along the way, but it was very good.
Good. Yeah, you definitely get more out of it. And let me just share my screen with you guys really quickly. If you guys didn't know, in our Coach Basics page, that's actually, you guys are May. There's a file section, and you can get to it on your phone. On your phone, you have to click on this picture, but on a computer, if you just click on that files, you'll see that we have all sorts of documents that are already uploaded for you guys to look at. And this one, I pretty much, if you click on it, it will make you do a download, and I'll open it up. I have to stop sharing for a second, and I'll go back to it. Okay, so it opens up to this, and this is pretty much exactly what is in Go Pro and how he makes you kind of have that conversation. And I know it's really awkward at first to kind of do it in this kind of order, but it really does make a huge difference, because as a coach, you need to take control. You need to take control of the conversation, and you need to take control of your business. So by taking control of the conversation, what I mean is you're the one asking questions. You're not waiting for them to ask you questions and then you just reply. So a lot of times people will just kind of come out of the blue and say, how much is it? And of course you want to spit out it's $140 if you get a challenge pack with shake. Like people are like, well, like, you know, you kind of give them a little bit too much information. And that's how you answer it. It's in this too. But how I answer like a price, like how much is it? If they ask that right off the bat, I'll say, well, it depends all on your health and fitness goals. Can you tell me why you're interested? So I always take control of the conversation. And that's always the first question I ask no matter what. Can you tell me more? Why are you interested? Can you tell me about your health and fitness goals? Why are you interested? It's about the coaching opportunity. Yeah, I'd love to share with you what this business has done for me. Can you tell me why you're interested? So that's always my first question off the bat, and that kind of gives me control over the conversation so that I can kind of go over these questions that I can ask them so I can then obviously find them the right program that's going to fit for them. But in here, what I was saying is kind of awkward is when you ask them, okay, if I sent you a video on the 21-day fix, would you watch it? They're going to say yes, and you want to send it to them right there and then, right? But you have to ask them, when are you going to be able to watch it by? That's going to give you that follow-up date. And I know it's super awkward to ask it like that, especially if they're a close friend or someone you know or family. But the second I started using this, and I don't think I actually used or read GoPro until 6 months until I was a coach. It wasn't a big book back then. My business completely changed. I mean, the people, and I was a very slow starter. So meaning I didn't come running out the gates. I probably didn't have my first, sale until maybe like a month in, but it wasn't a challenge pack. It was just a workout. I was a slow turtle, but I kept on going because I knew I wasn't quitting. But anyways, when I started using this format on how to have conversations, it really changed the game for me. And I think people appreciate it, right? People want to be taken care of. People want to know that, you're asking questions because you care, because you want to get them the best results. Not that you want to make a sale, but that you're building that relationship also, that you want to know about them, because you want to have that connection. You want to have that friendship, because once you kind of trust each other, then that's when, if they have a bad day and they didn't press play, or, they stepped on the scale and it didn't budge, they're going to feel like, okay, I can call Rose and I can message Rose and be like, what's going on? Like, she's not going to, ignore me or just blow me off. Like she really does want to help me. So definitely use like this document here, and definitely use the other documents in the file section in our Coach Basics group. And there is a ton of file section in our team page. So same thing, if you go to Team Arise and go in the file section, there is a ton of stuff. Might be a little bit overwhelming, but I really do love our team calls. So they're always recorded. If you need help in a certain specific area, whether it's facing your fear or Facebook marketing or attracting the right coach, or how do I tell my story on social media, or challenge group ideas, like there's really good information all right here for you guys. And I'm not saying to watch every single video every single night. That would be, I understand that everyone else has priorities besides Beachbody. So don't get me wrong. There's definitely, family is always number one priority. All right. Any other questions or comments? Jen, did you have a question? Or the other Jen?
Yes. I
Okay.
do. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're good. You're live.
Okay. So I want to start a challenge group May 16th. I've done the invite. I've been talking to people. A lot of people are excited about it. but it gets up to the point where I've sent them the videos. They love the videos. That's what they want to do. But then the money situation comes in. And I don't know how to get past that part of it, because the people that I work with, we don't make a whole lot of money. We really work hard for our money, and they see me doing it. They see me talking about it. And I even have people that I work with that I've never talked to finding out that I'm a coach. And so they're coming to me and they just automatically start talking about how they're not eating right, how much weight they want to lose, what they want to do. And I can't talk about it a whole lot at work because I don't want to get in trouble for pushing my business. And so I'm trying to invite them to Facebook, friend me on Facebook, and I'll give you more information or whatever. But I still have not sold anything, and I don't know. I'm getting frustrated. And I know I shouldn't, but it's like.
Your upline?
What?
Who's your coach? Who's your sponsor coach?
Danielle.
Danielle Log?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where are you from?
I'm in Arkansas.
How do you know Danielle?
I've been a customer of Beachbody since 2012, and I went on and bought Shakeology.
So you're a free lead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the funny thing is, years ago, I found out about the coaching program, and I just never thought much about it. And then I'm to a part in my life where something's got to change. I hate my job. I hate going in every day. I know that I'm meant to do something other than what I'm doing right now. And so I've just really been thinking about it. And I messaged her after I bought my Shakeology, and I was like, I want to be a coach. Tell me how to do it. And
I love that.
So I signed up for it. And I have big goals, and I'm starting to realize that maybe it's going to take a little bit longer than what I thought, but I want it.
Yeah, no matter how long it takes you, still have those goals. Because whether you make them or not, you're going to be further along than if you went for a wimpy, stinky kind of not hard goal. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you a little bit of a story. I don't know if you know Alicia Zenker, but she is that coach I was talking about that had the blog. She was actually a free coach of mine, and she is from North Dakota. And she lives on a cow farm, a legit cow farm. She has like 500 cows, her and her husband. And that was the first thing that she told me when she became a coach. Like, I'm from a small town. Like, nobody here is going to want to do this. And that was her mindset. So how before I was talking about the energy you put out there is what you're going to receive back. So if you had that mindset that, people here, they don't have a lot of money, they're not going to want to commit, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get those people that don't want to commit. So, but that's totally common. So try and switch up that mindset and say, why wouldn't people want to do this? This is going to change people's lives. So look at why they would and not why they wouldn't. Second, price objection is always the top objection you're always going to get, especially as a new coach. And that's the one, and I'm sure Haley, and I still get price objections sometimes, but that one is one of those consistency that it just takes that time and takes so say like your first challenge group, no one signs up. That's all right. Your next month, you're gonna do a challenge group again. And that was one of my mistakes that I made is my first challenge group, I got 0. I got nobody. And then I think I tried one more and maybe I got like 2 or 3. And then I was like, this isn't working. And then I stopped running challenge groups for like 6 months. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'm missing like this whole part that I can actually invite people to. So definitely if you don't get anyone, run another one. Invite people again for the next month because they're going to see that you're consistent. But the 2 ways I like to handle objections are, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I found. So we call it feel, felt, found. I know exactly how you feel. And be honest. I felt the same way, or my mom felt the same way. So I always use my mom as an example. I know exactly how you feel. My mom felt the same way. Her and my dad just retired. And And when she first started drinking Shakeology, she thought it was a big, she was very skeptical and didn't want to waste her money because she was saving for retirement and all that kind of stuff. But she realized, and this is a true story, she has really bad eczema on her hands to the point they like rip open and they start bleeding. Like that's how bad they are. And when she started drinking Shakeology, she noticed that started going away. And she still didn't believe it. And we didn't know this was going to happen. So she stopped drinking it. And what do you know? It came back again. And then she's like, all right, let me drink it again. And it went away. And we're like, oh my goodness. So I would say I know exactly how you feel. My mom felt the same way. She thought, this wasn't going to work for her. But we had no idea this actually healed her eczema. And now she doesn't have to go to the doctor. She doesn't have to buy the prescription. So she found that, now she drinks it for lunch every day. So she's not wasting money on, going to Panera Bread and getting a salad and a sandwich, half of the sandwich that costs $10. And it's helping her with her eczema. So if you can kind of relate to people like that, they realize, okay, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. You know what I mean? And the second way I like to handle that objection is just to make sure you're having that conversation the right way. So what I mean by that is going through those steps. Because if you kind of miss those steps of asking those questions, so if you're asking people, what do they have for lunch? Or what do they have for breakfast? How much energy do they have? Do they sleep well? How is their bowel movements? How, do they have that 4 o'clock crash in the afternoon? Do they have foggy brain? Do they have good hair and nails? Like those kind of questions, when you ask that to people, they're going to be like, yeah, like I don't have a lot of energy. Like, yeah, my stomach, it kind of doesn't do so well. And I'm one that I suffered from IBS, and that's why I continued on with Shakeology, because I realized like, I don't have to go to the GI doctor anymore and get endoscopies and all that, drink that awful stuff, and they like look at everything. But those types of things are going to make people realize like, wow, I don't sleep really well at night, or when I do work out, I'm really sore because they're not recovering. And they're like, oh wow, like I really do need this. Or when you ask the question, why do you want to lose weight? We all want to lose weight, but why? Well, I have a wedding coming up. Oh, have you tried anything else? Yeah, I tried this, and this, and it just didn't work. So now you're kind of almost making them realize like they really actually do need this. All right, thanks, Tia. She sent a message. Thanks for coming on. We're going to be ending soon anyways. This one's a little long. But when you kind of build that up and ask those questions, they're going to realize like, I do need this. It is worth the money. And they're going to see the value in it and not just how much is it going to cost. And that's going to take time. So definitely send Danielle the conversations that you've already had. And she's going to be able to say, okay, this is where you can kind of change it a little bit. This is what you can do next time. And then you're just going to get better. So what I would do is send Danielle those conversations and write down the people that you've already talked to. Because for your next challenge group in June, you're going to send them an invitation.
Oh, yeah. And what I do with this Shakeology, it's like I can't wait to drink it. And I don't have to be at work until 10:15. So I try to take it to work so I can shake it up and everybody sees me, because people ask me about it every time they see me doing that. And I just talk about it like as quickly as I can in the little amount of time that I have. But it's like I can't wait to get to work to drink it so people can ask me about it. But it's so good that I just like want it as soon as I work out.
That's so funny. No, I would do the same thing. I'm like, oh, I want to, and because I usually had it in the morning when I did work out or when I did have to go to work. But even just carrying around that shaker bottle that says Shakeology, or even if you get like a bag that you carry like your work stuff in that says Shakeology or Beachbody or whatever, like people are going to notice that, and people are nosy and they ask.
Even just having the cup on my desk with nothing in it, people are like, oh.
Totally.
No,
I mean, you're doing great. You're getting out there. People are asking about it, and that shows that you're putting yourself out there. So you're on the right track. Okay. Keep going for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Haley. Did you have any?
I'm still here. No, it's fine. No, I like listening. I always learn from others, but I was gonna say too, well, first, Jen, when you were talking about your conversations and like following up and not wanting to be salesy, that was one thing I always struggled with too. And there was a national wake up call. I want to say it was like back in February of this year by Bonnie Ingalls. She's one of like the top coaches. And she gave really good advice in this, that when you are following up with people, if they, you know, like if you've sent them something and obviously we can tell they read your message, but they're not responding to you and you're just kind of like, ugh. It's like you can send them a message and just be like, hey girl, I saw that you had seen my last message, but I know you're super busy with working or, you know, with the kids, just like everyone else is. But I just wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions, or make sure, you know, that, you know, the invite is still open. Just kind of like reassure them that, one, you know, they saw your message, and two, that you still want to be there to help them, and that you just like, you're not just trying to be like, so did you watch that video yet? Like,
right, that's good. I like that. I would have never thought of that because I didn't really know how to, you know, follow up to that with her. So I was like, you know what, for now I'll just kind of leave it alone because I don't want to, you know, ruin that relationship that she doesn't buy in the future or tell other people to buy from me in the future. So
yeah. Definitely. And I mean, in that way, like when you're just like, hey, saw your message, I know you're really busy, or I know this came up, or you're doing this, you know, you're kind of, you know, saying you realize they have a life. This isn't, obviously they can't respond to your message right away, but you still want them to know that you're still there for them. So that's just something I've had to do a lot lately. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm so sorry, I meant to message you back, or, you know, something like that. So just if that works for you, just try it out.
thanks.
No problem. That's all I got, Rose.
And I'll actually find that that call and I'll post it in Coach Basics in case you guys want to listen to it, because that one a really good one. All right, ladies, it's almost 9:30 and we're almost at an hour, so we're good. Thank you so much for coming on. I know for me, these calls were super important. I learned so much. So I hope you guys learned something, if it's just one thing from tonight, and take it with you. And we'll have the same call next week, so next Thursday at 8:30, and I'll post about it in the group to remind you guys. But keep doing your thing, and we're here to help you. So have a good night. Take care.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye.